How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back. So, the day has finally come. Evil Dead Rise has come out, and well, it comes out Friday, April 21st. I saw an early screening of it, so sorry for the confusion. But yes, Evil Dead Rise has like just crazy Rotten Tomatoes on 96 as of now, 51 reviews, and I really loved it. It was awesome, and just gonna give my thoughts, my opinions. Um, but off the bat, go see it. I highly recommend it. I'm just very happy to see horror thriving. Honestly, like we had Scream 6, Terrifier 2. What movie did I see? The Winnie the Pooh movie was fun. like, and then now this, like, horror is just in a really great spot right now, and I'm just glad it's doing so well. So, I will touch minor spoilers, but yeah, should you go see it? Yes, if you're a horror fan, it's a must. Um, but yeah, so the plot basically, the movie starts out with the ending, in the sense the opening is like a cabin, things you should be accustomed to with Evil Dead, and we have a scene play out, and it just cuts to a day earlier, right? So the main plot of the movie and like what happens, essentially, it's with the story revolves around a single mother with her three children, two daughters and a boy, being visited by her sister, younger sister, I'm pretty sure, who's, her sisters come in town. They live in like LA. She's visiting for like the day, the weekend, and shit hits the fan. There's an earthquake, because it's an old rundown building. It's condemned, and it used to be a bank, and because as a result of the earthquake, old in the parking lot, like the floor cracks open, and that's where the this version of the Necronomicon is in a safe, like a yeah, it's in a safe, like protected, everything. The brother finds it, and that's how the Deadites are released onto the world. But so what can I say? Like, for one, it's just awesome. Like, I love that. Just like Evil Dead 2013, which is over hated in my opinion, I like that movie is like pretty good too. And similarly to that one, what I love is just that they go back to like the roots. Like, it's more horror. Like, don't so Evil Dead as a franchise, right? Like, it started out as horror, but of course the appeal was that, like, oh, it was the first movie, had like cheap effects, very low budget, so there's that of like, oh, like, doesn't it's not convincing, so it's like, haha. Evil Dead 2 strikes that like perfect middle ground of like horror, but then you have some comedic things. um Army of Darkness is where it all goes out the window. Don't get me wrong, just like anyone else, I like the idea of Ash going back in time. And like, but that movie is like an adventure comedy. It is not horror in the slightest. And then of course, the 2013 movie goes back to the roots. Ash versus Evil Dead, same thing. It's in that like, I think it is a little more comedic than like Evil Dead 2, but I still enjoy it because it still has like that excessive nature. But Lee Cronin's version, the director of this movie, like really brings it back to like, yes, this is horror and it is comedic. It's got some great, like, funny lines, like great moments. Of course, the Deadites, like, what I love about that depiction of like whether they're demons or that sort of thing is that like they taunt you, like they're, because in other movies, right, it's all about like, oh, I'm evil, like, like shoot lasers at you or I move shit around. But like we're in this one, it's like no, they really like mess with you. And yeah, as I said, the kids essentially found the book. They unleash the evil, and their mom is like the main antagonist, if you will, right? Where she gets possessed, and slowly the other occupants of this like apartment building are killed off, and the family have to fight each other. And so just spoilers, not all of them live, of course, to be expected, I would assume. But it's, yeah, like it's just the way they handled everything was really well done. Like callbacks, that sort of thing, right? Like, yes, there's a boomstick. Yes, we see a chainsaw. Our main girl, says, come get some. Like, it wasn't done like really forced, if that makes sense. Like no one said groovy, which I was like, oh, thank you. It's like that would have been like really jarring, really out of place. So yeah, I'll say that the references, they did really well in putting them in. But seriously, the action, the gore, that's what we're here for. That's what Evil Dead is really known for. And they deliver. Like, I'm just gonna say there's a wood chipper in the movie, and a scene involving it was like, whoa. Like, again, I'm a gore hound, I'm pretty desensitized to that sort of thing. But even I was like, wow, like I'm surprised this got approved, like this the MPAA, right? And here in the States were like, oh, this is cool. Like, I was like, yeah, they really go all out. Like, the effects are done pretty well. You could tell they use a lot of practical, which is always a bonus, right? Like, um, yeah, like whether it's like the vomit or blood, like you could tell it's really like them wet, or like the stickiness, which adds to the effect. And yeah, it was done really well. Just like the 2013 movie, this is not an Ash Williams story. Of course, Bruce Campbell, after the show, has stated that he is done playing the character in live action. But it holds up really well. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Like, the movie is just like boom, 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 boom. Like, again, the opening is like actually the end. Um, we get the story revolves mainly around this family and like this building, and it ends well. What I love too is the ending, which I guess spoilers, so this is your warning. Again, the beginning, the in opening scene is the end, because the evil is still out there. Like, this is the first movie where like it isn't contained, right? Like, the Deadites aren't defeated. Like, no, it's still out there. So the sequel potential is just like perfect. You could literally, just like Evil Dead 2, right? Pick up like right after the first one. Yeah, and like seriously, Lee Cronin, everyone did a fantastic job. I really loved our main Deadite herself. She was fantastic. Because I watched some interviews leading up to it, where I'll put the actress's name here. I don't know it off the top of my head, but where she is not a horror fan, but she did really well. And I love the little girl. She she was funny, and I just love the movie. Like, she was great. I love Staffney, which you'll see. Yeah, I really like it, and I can praise the movie in that. And I promise I'm not a psycho, but like, kids are in danger, and it's like, yes, in a situation like this they would be, because I don't know what it is with Hollywood, or just movies in general. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's like a rule against like children getting hurt. Like, that's just not allowed. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll never see a kid get like ripped apart like on a movie. Like, that would never happen. But they, like, kids are in danger. Like, a kid dies, like, mainly off screen, but you do see him get like thrown across the hall, and then like you see the aftermath with like this guy is like his limbs cut off, And yeah, I was just like, oh, like, okay, like you really went there. But I appreciate that because, again, in a situation like this, a monster, a demon, whatever, right, is not going to care if you're an adult or a child. If anything, a child is like your easier target, right? So that's one thing I've always hated about horror, is just that like it takes any believability out of it. I'm aware, yes, it's a work of fiction, but the idea is you want to really capture people, really like have them in there. And I'll give Evil Dead Rise that. They're like, thank you. You put the like kids in danger. You make it real. A really standout scene is near the end when they're in the elevator, and there's like it's filling up with blood and like the little girl screaming, but like it gives you that sense of panic, like claustrophobia, like oh, like we're gonna die. Like it's really well done. And again, she's a very funny character too, and that's what I like. I like that this movie truly balances that like horror and comedy, and I love that. Like the Deadites are funny, like they're funny, but it's scary at the same time, and I'm like, that's Evil Dead to me. Like again, I'm sorry for the Army of Darkness hate. Look, I like it. Ash as a knight is all really cool and it has his best one-liners. I'll give it that, but it's like that went too goofy in my opinion, and it's like no, Evil Dead is like Evil Dead Rise is like at its peak when it's like yes, like this is the tone, this is what you do, and yeah, like they could do so much. Like I love I touched on a bit earlier how they do references because this Necronomicon, which I don't believe they call it that in the movie, but they mention that is like one of 3 volumes, which, touching on Army of Darkness, there were 3 Necronomicons, right? Which is pretty much split up into, like, of course, the standard one that we all know from, like Ash holds, to the one from the Fede Alvarez movie, the 2013 one, and then now this one, and I'm like, oh, I love the book design too with its teeth. Like that's really well done. And yeah, great movie. It's like 97 minutes, but I'm like, yes, thank you. Not every movie needs to be some 3-hour epic where halfway through you got to use the bathroom, and then any focus you had is gone because you're just worried about not peeing. It's like, thank you. 100-minute movies or 90 to 100-minute movies are like perfect. It's like that's all we need. But seriously, I loved it. It's a blast. Like, I mean, I'll say it like this: like, if you're a horror fan, definitely go see it. It's awesome. If you're not, I mean, nothing I can say will convince you. It's not for you. It's not for you. But if I had to rate it from 1 through 10, considering like just what we got, this is a solid 9.5. Again, 10s are rare, right? If anything. But seriously, shout out to Sam Raimi, like Bruce Campbell, again, because they're the producers. And Sam handpicked Lee Cronin for like a movie he did previously, and it's like seriously, Lee did a fantastic job. He gets what Evil Dead is, and I'm like, please bring him back. And thank you to Warner Bros. Because this was originally going to be a streaming movie on HBO Max, but it's like it had such a good reception, which hey, I love it too. That it got a full theatrical release, like no like same day streaming, none of that. It's like full theatrical. The theater was packed when I went, and that was our early screening, so I hope it does really well. And kudos to all of you guys. Like Evil Dead is alive and well, and I'd love a sequel. Hey, would I love Ash to come back? And even if it's for a cameo or you kill the character off, I wouldn't mind it. It would be cool, but the franchise is in good hands and it's great. Go see it. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions. Let me know if you agree, disagree. And again, the movie will be out everywhere. Well, it's very soon, on Friday, April 21st. So yeah, go see it, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this type of content, I'm making videos every Tuesday and Saturday. So please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And as always, everyone, I've been your host, Oxy. Take care, and I'll see you next time.